Welcome to Sunday School for Sunday, March 22nd, 2026. For our junior students, ages 9 to 11, I do not own the rights to this music. Today's Bible basis is coming out of Mark chapter 15, verses 6 through 15, then verses 25 and 26, and verses 33 through 39. The title of today's story, Restoring Relationships. I'm really sorry for not believing you, Maria. I'll never do anything like that again, said her friend Eli. Maria's mind rushed back to the playground scene from a week earlier. She had noticed Constance and some of Constance's friends pointing at her as they spoke to a supervisor. Not long afterward, she was called to the office and accused of taking money from their teacher. She recalled her embarrassment as the principal, Mr. Brown, kept questioning her. The girls had already convinced him with their lies. Everything went from bad to worse that day. Maria was told that she was facing in-school suspension for a week if Mr. Brown found concrete evidence that she had the money. He also called her parents. To top it off, after school, Eli said, "Man, Maria, why did you take the money? Everyone's talking about it." He was her best church friend, and even he had believed the rumor. Fortunately, Maria's parents believed her. They prayed together and asked God to reveal the truth. Maria shook her head as if shaking out the memory of that horrible experience. Eli had just come to tell her how he heard Constance talking about how she had set up Maria after taking the money herself. He told Mr. Brown what he heard. "Please forgive me, Maria," he said. Maria shook her head as she listened to Eli explain. She thought, "The past is gone. All things are new. You really hurt me, Eli. You're my best friend. I was surprised and hurt, but I forgive you. Thanks for telling Mr. Brown the truth." Have you ever been falsely accused? If so, how did you handle it? How do you think both Eli and Maria are now feeling? Jesus stood before Pilate, the Roman governor of Judea. Jesus had done no wrong, but the Jewish leaders stirred up the crowd and insisted Pilate order Jesus' crucifixion. Pilate found no fault in Jesus, so according to custom, he could free one prisoner. He suggested Jesus. Instead, the people demanded that another prisoner who had done wrong be released. As a result, Jesus was sent to his crucifixion. Crucifixions drew a crowd of people. A centurion, a soldier, and over 100 other men watched it all. Read the scriptures to discover what the centurion said in the end. Mark chapter 15, verses 6 through 15, verses 25 through 26, verses 33 through 39. Now at the feast, he released unto them one prisoner, whomsoever they desired, and there was one named Barabbas, which lay bound with them that had made insurrection with him, who had committed murder in the insurrection. And the multitude, crying aloud, began to desire him to do as he had ever done unto them. Pilate realized the priests were envious and Jesus was innocent. But Pilate answered them, saying, "Will ye that I release unto you the King of the Jews?" For he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. Jewish leaders convinced the crowds, but the chief priests moved the people that he should rather release Barabbas unto them. And Pilate answered and said again unto them, "What will ye then that I shall do unto him whom ye call the King of the Jews?" And they cried out again, "Crucify him." Pilate questioned Jesus again. Pilate also wanted to please the crowd. Then Pilate said unto them, "Why, what evil hath he done?" And they cried out the more exceedingly, "Crucify him." And so Pilate, willing to content the people, released Barabbas unto them, and delivered Jesus, when he had scourged him, to be crucified. And it was the third hour, and they crucified him. And the superscription of his accusation was written over, "The King of the Jews." Pilate ordered the accusation to read, "The King of the Jews." How do you think the priests reacted? And when the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani," which is being interpreted, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" And some of them that stood by, when they heard it, said, "Behold, he calleth Elias." And one ran and filled a sponge full of vinegar, and put it on a reed, and gave him to drink, saying, "Let alone, let us see whether Elias will come to take him down." And Jesus cried with a loud voice and gave up the ghost. And the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom. The curtain in the temple separated the people from God. When Jesus died, the curtain suddenly ripped in half. God was accessible to people. And when the centurion which over against him saw that he was so, cried out and gave up the ghost. He said, "Truly this man was the Son of God." The centurion watched everything. In the end, he knew the truth. Jesus was the Son of God. The memory verse. And when the centurion which stood over against him saw that he so cried out and gave up the ghost, he said, "Truly this man was the Son of God." And that's Mark chapter 15, verse 39. On a sheet of paper, write an ending for Elena that shows an example of sacrifice. Share your story with a partner. Elena watches TV until Mama gets home. One day she notices all the dirty dishes and clutter. Giving up your money, possessions, or even your pride to help others can be sacrifices. You can put someone else first. What sacrifice will you make this week? Think of a possession or a difficult situation. Ask God for courage and strength to sacrifice for Him. The end. God bless you and thank you for joining me today.